Yewo Farm CEOs, Mwale Gilbert here. Always a wonderful and great thing to be talking to you. And today I wanted just to give a few lessons or thoughts that we actually learned from the Farm Numbers Masterclass that we had just yesterday. It was a beautiful time we spent with farm CEOs or farm owners as you may know them. We had them come through, full team, and we had a wonderful time with them as AgriJobs, just letting them know what farm numbers are and how to do it on their farm as well, just how to take record. Now, there are some few lessons I'll share with us over time, maybe 1, 2, 3, or I don't know how many, but I would like to start with the first one. And this is something about the importance of actually having farm numbers which are legit on your farm. Some of us, I know, we are using powerful applications for accounting to actually do our record keeping of bookkeeping, to be specific. Things like QuickBooks, Xero, Sage, and all these big powerful tools and all. And I would encourage that if your farm is at that level, please go ahead and get some of those tools and use them. They will definitely be a good use for your farm. What I have found, with my journey of entrepreneurship, is that in the early days of my entrepreneurship, most especially when I had very little things to record, in terms of transactions, lower number of transactions, maybe less number of sales and expenses and all, and not a very huge wage bill and all, is that sometimes I found that using these big tools was not as useful or as productive as possible, because what would happen is that I would be entering information in there, and if you asked me a question, how many quotations have I done that I've given out there to clients, I probably wouldn't know easily. If you asked me questions to say, how much do you have of XYZ, I wouldn't know easily. If someone asked me questions, to say, what about, can you give me, I remember one particular time, one financer, a venture capitalist, to be specific, but on the lower side, was interested in giving me an equity deal, and where he wanted to invest in my business, and he asked to say, can you give me a P&L, a profit and loss document? And boy, that became a pain. It was a headache. I had difficulties to actually get that P&L, and I looked around, I found a friend, we started working on it. But remember, he's never in my business, so it was very difficult for him also to put together everything I wanted. The next thing, I saw an SMS from the investor to say, this is the problem with you small businesses, is that you can't even keep a P&L. Now, I know at the back of the mind of that investor, in his mind, he was thinking, I should have had those things. But let me tell you, I don't come from that background. I don't come from a background of doing commerce. I don't come from a background of doing, accounting or any of those things. I had to learn it the hard way. And this is why I was I probably feel like I was the best person talking to these CEOs, because I'm talking about bookkeeping, or I'm talking about farm numbers from a non-accountant perspective, but a productive perspective, a perspective where when you have these records, you have your numbers recorded, the reports that you get out of there are going to help you, even at a level where you are alone in the business. You don't have a full-fledged accountant, which you need to get when your business grows, or when your farm grows. But it was enough for me to understand what I want to do. So the lessons that I wanted to share with us is that, number one, when you put up farm numbers properly, you do not have problems with what is called pricing. So look out for the next video. I will talk about the issue of pricing, how easy it is for you to handle pricing, because then you know your numbers very well. Thank you.